Happy birth month to all the May babies. Hi guys, hope you're doing well, hope you're thriving. My name is Doreen. If you're new here, you are welcome to my channel. This is a channel where we share lifestyle content that is authentic, motivational, and fun and encouraging and all that goodness, mostly using stories, my stories, and also other people's stories. If you're new here, please subscribe. There's a subscribe button down here. You can click it and you have subscribed. Like the videos, share with your friends, and encourage them to also subscribe as we are on a journey to grow together. Yeah, so May being my birth month, I'm going to share with you a few things that worked for me the previous year and things that I'm going to continue doing even in this year that they worked for me last year and I'm going to carry them on. So one of the things that worked for me last year that I'm carrying on into next year is skincare, most especially facial skincare. Yeah, so I shared a video recently. If you have not watched it, you can go and watch it about my skincare routine and the products that I'm using. And most of my products are from Kweli Organics, our own Ugandan brand. Yeah, so if you missed that video, you can go and watch it. So skincare worked for me. So last year, as you can see, my skin is glowing. I haven't put any makeup. I just came as I am. Yeah, so skincare worked for me last year and I'm going to continue doing it. Another thing that worked for me is in terms of hair care, the products that I was using or that I'm still using is Livara hair products. So if you are on a natural hair journey, you can consider also using their products. Another thing that worked for me last year that I'm bringing into this year is meal prepping. You guys, meal prepping is a game changer. Yes, so I first heard about meal prepping from some Kenyan YouTuber called, okay, the YouTube channel is called Susie's Homestead. And then also Manuela Mulondo was also talking about it. And let me tell you guys, it is something that really, really saves a lot of time. It saves your energy and all that. So I started meal prepping last year and I'm going to continue it this year. So far for what I'm doing for meal prepping is sauce. Okay, like I batch cook beans, I batch cook peas, I batch cook beef and all that, and then store them in the freezer. And then on the day, I have a meal plan. So on the day we're eating beans, I just get my beans from the freezer, fry them, and we eat. But some people do batch cooking of or meal prepping of when they cook the beans, they actually fry them and keep sauce that is ready. So on the day of eating, they just come, warm the sauce, and then eat. Yeah, so there are different methods of batch cooking. Yeah, so that is one of the things that worked for me in the previous year that I'm bringing into this year. One of the things that worked for me in terms of finances, money and business is Business Garage. It is hosted every Sunday at 7:30 from 7:30 a.m. East African time on Worship Harvest. All their social media platforms, they host it there. They talk about business, they talk about money, they talk about how to grow your business and all that. So the first time I heard about Business Garage, they were going through Moses Mukisa's book of church finances. I don't know what's the title. I will leave the title here in the comment, but it's about church finances. But they were those principles that they use for church finances, like they can be applied in your day-to-day life. So they were going through that book. They called on very prominent business people to come and share experiences of those principles. And it was so mind-blowing. Since then up to now, I've been glued every Sunday at 7:30 a.m. I wake up, go to YouTube, go to Instagram, any social media platform. You tune in and you learn a lot about business, you learn a lot about money and all that. So that is something that worked for me last year that I'm bringing into this year. Another thing in terms of finances that worked for me last year is investment clubs. You guys, I have done videos even about investment clubs, what to consider to join an investment club, the benefits of an investment club. I even brought on a guest, Paul Kanoti, who is very, very well versed with investment clubs, who has ripped a lot from investment clubs on my channel. I have all those videos here on my channel. So if you have not yet joined investment clubs, consider joining. So I've benefited so much from investment clubs. In fact, one of my investment clubs, we bought land last year, and I was really, really so excited about the whole process of, you have saved through the year, and now this is an investment that you have made with your money. It was so fulfilling. So that is another thing that I'm taking into this year. I have even joined more investment clubs. Well, just know investment clubs are working for me, and I'm sure that they can also work for you. So if you don't have an investment club, look out for one that you can join. If there's none that you feel like you can join, you can form one and invite your friends, invite your family, and you start one. Yeah, that is one of the things that I'm continuing with, or that I'm bringing into this next year. And in terms of my mental health or mental space, one of the things that I started learning from the previous year is setting boundaries. And that is one thing that I'm going to, continue going ahead, because boundaries are very important, in relationships, in life. Like, you need to set your boundaries to protect your mental health, to protect your mental space. Another thing in that regard is live in the moment, trying to live in the moment. If you're celebrating a birthday, enjoy that moment. If you're eating food, take time to enjoy that food, see how it tastes and all that. Another thing in terms of safeguarding my mental space that I'm doing, that I want to continue doing, is to acknowledge the different seasons that we go through in life. So different seasons come with different challenges, they come with different ups, different downs. So if you get stuck in one season, that means you'll not fully embrace this season. So that is one of the things that I'm doing to protect my mental space, acknowledge my season. In terms of acknowledging seasons, another way to put it is to not succumb to the pressures around me, yet I know that I'm not yet in that season. So to be content and be and embrace the season that I'm in without succumbing to the pressures of life or to the pressures around me to move to a different season. Yeah, so that is one of the things that I'm doing to protect my mental space. Socially, I believe I've been a good friend, and I know that I can improve, because in life, you always do better when you know better. But I want to be more intentional with my friends. Like, I want to be more intentional in being there for my friends. But also, these seasons, like I've just said about seasons, the seasons of life that we are in. Sometimes you find like other parts of your life take up your time, they take up your resources, and you're not so there for your friends. So actually, the other day I was chatting with my friend, and I was telling her that, you know what, me and you, we are cool, we are friends, we are close. We may not talk every day, but every time we talk, we catch up. So when we have not talked for so long, don't feel bad and feel like I've neglected you and all that. Yeah, so just always know I pray for you, I love you, but this season of life demands so much from me that I cannot be there like I was before this season. Yeah, so sometimes as we age, like I always say, when you're in your 30s, like things change, and it's important to acknowledge that people's lives change, they shift, they turn, and then you go with the flow. It's not like someone hates you, it's not like someone, doesn't wish you well, but sometimes life is happening. Yeah, but being intentional, that's what I'm going to say. Like, be intentional. So I'm going to be more intentional despite the ups and downs, more intentional on checking on my friends, more intentional on being there for my friends. For marriage, I learned that since last year was my first year in marriage, one of the things that I learned is marriages are different. Marriages have different dynamics, because I am different from every other person in the world. My husband is different from every other person in the world. So our dynamic is actually different from my friend's marriage, from my sister's marriage. So our dynamic is really different. So what I learned is to be happy in my dynamic and see how to deal with it, and move forward like that in my dynamic. And also another thing that I learned, that I practiced last year, that I'm going to continue practicing this year, when we're doing premarital counseling, my mama told me that marriage is not carnal. Like, you have to pray for your marriage. That is one thing that I'm also taking to this next year. Continue praying for marriage, continue praying for marriages out there and all that. So if you're married and you have not yet embraced prayer, I encourage you to embrace prayer in marriage. It really eases so many things. It changes so many things. So those are some of the things that worked for me last year that I'm taking into this year. If there's any of them that you are going to practice or incorporate in your life, please leave a comment below and tell me what you're going to incorporate in your life. If you have learned something, give this video a thumbs up, and if you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe. And on this channel, we always say progress is progress no matter how small. So keep moving, keep growing, and keep glowing. Bye.